Yo, thank you very much for your checking, bro. Hopefully you are all good. Hello, and welcome back to the YouTube. It's been a very annoying break again, because I've once again been ill. It is now 5.5 weeks post-show, and I think the last maybe 4 days have been the only 4 days where something hasn't been wrong, which is absolutely brilliant. So for a bit of an update since the last time that I filmed, which was 9 or 10 days ago, I think it was. So I do apologise. Yeah, 10 days ago. Food, I believe, is up, so I'll be going through a full day of eating today. Blood work was done. I'll be going through blood work today. And we have got the cycle in, we've got changes in, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, for a bit of like a backstory, if anyone's eating a meal, maybe pause and wait till you finish the meal. Obviously had Restitutide in post-show, which obviously I spoke about beforehand in the previous video. I ain't a fan of, I will never be using again. I then got a stomach bug. That stomach bug lasted 2.5 weeks because of said Restitutide slowing down gastric emptying. And even while I had it in, had no positive benefits towards appetite or anything like that. I wasn't really hungry anyway. Maybe my blood work's a bit better, so blood work is sound, so that's positive there. But then yeah, it got to like Thursday last week, and probably the worst I've ever felt, and probably like the worst Molly has ever seen me in my life. Just very delirious, and probably slept for around 19 hours during that 24-hour period. And then from like Thursday to Saturday, I probably ate close to around 5,000 calories in total, and my baseline diet is around 4,000 calories just on a rest day. So that's great, that's brilliant. Yeah, I will save any more TMI, but you can probably imagine. But regardless, blood work was done last Monday, came back the following day, cycle went in last Wednesday, so it's been a week on cycle now, and blood work was generally very, very good. The only real like sort of markers which were like a little bit out was kind of to be expected, more so just like inflammatory markers. So somewhere on screen, if I've remembered, I will probably put them up. Red blood and clotting levels, all absolutely sound. White blood cells, all absolutely sound. Kidney function, all good, so I'm not dying, which is good. In regards to liver function, only two things which were a bit elevated were ALT and AST, which, yes, can show some acute signs of liver strain, but not massively high. Also considering the fact that I only took like an extra rest day prior to getting the blood work done. So not really anything that's like massively skewed. The next time that I get bloods, I'd imagine I'll probably take a full week off the gym, as resistance training and even sometimes cardiovascular training can show some markers to be elevated, even like 6 to 7 days. Molly is about to laugh. I said 6, 7. Afterwards. So again, we'll just pull bloods. When we pull bloods next time, we will just have a look upon them after a bit more rest. Diabetes health, HbA1c was all in check. Insulin levels a little bit low. Will be a bit skewed because of the growth hormone that I'm taking. But not really much of an issue there whatsoever. We've also got some insulin going in as of today. Cholesterol, all good. HDL was a little bit on the lower end. For me, HDL is something which always is a bit skewed, is a bit shit. Is that to say that I'm being an idiot by by taking things? Yes and no. Like, it's one of those things. I feel like HDL, if you're always looking upon your blood work and you're like, I want everything to be absolutely green, you're probably going to make no progress. Like, if you like, it's just something which you need to sort of accept, and HDL does generally take a little bit of hit with using anabolic steroids. But that being said, it's still massively improved from previous blood work, which is sound, and it's also a case where I'm pretty much doing and taking everything I possibly can to improve that. But at the same time, I'd imagine at some point during this off-season, cardio will be back in. That will further improve things, and should be all good. Transferrin saturation, a little bit low. Thyroid health, all bang on. Didn't use any T3, T4, never needed to. Vitamin D, a bit low. And then when it comes to hormone health, estrogen a bit high, but not massively. Asymptomatic, so more chilling. Luteinizing hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, a little bit low. again, they're going to be low. I'm taking testosterone. And then testosterone, just bang on natty. And then SHBG, a little bit low, but nothing really massive there. You got creatine kinase a little bit high. Again, I train to be an inflammatory marker. And then everything else, all absolutely bang on. So, yeah, we're all chilling, basically. There's a couple of things which we do want to sort of improve upon, regardless, but it's just everything's all good because of a very well managed prep and post show sort of period. Then in regards to things that we have changed since then, so blood work, it's just going to be again a case of reflective of post prep sort of physiology. Vitamin D we've put in, so that will be coming. So it's been a bit delayed, which is a bit annoying. And then we've also got magnesium going in there. So I believe it is, to be fair, let me just get it up. So 400 milligrams of elemental magnesium per day and 6,000 IU of vitamin D per day. So that should be here in the next couple of days, and that will be going straight in. And then when it comes to anabolics, we are starting the cycle off on 1,000 total milligrams from 500 milligrams of testosterone, 300 milligrams of EQ, and then we've got 200 milligrams of mastron. So the reason we're using mastron is the ones I've got is a propionate, so it's going to peak a little bit quicker. We are going to have that in just to manage the fact that EQ is going to take a little bit longer to peak. And then once EQ is reaching sort of usual saturation levels, mass will be pulled out and then replaced with what I'd imagine would just be testosterone, because I do respond a lot to EQ in terms of it does bring down my E2 levels pretty aggressively, so I need to run my test a bit higher, so we will do. But yeah, aside from that, obviously we've got GH still at 5 IUs pre-bed. I'd imagine that'll be bumping up pretty soon as well. And then I've been taking my fasted blood glucose levels, which have been okay, but beginning to be a bit skewed as a result of using GH. And last 4 days I've been tracking it before meal 2 and meal 3, further skewing basically, so it's not just one random result which is just a bit skewed. Pretty high, we're looking at the 8s there basically, so it's definitely been skewed a little bit more. So we are going to be putting in Nova Rapid at 5 IUs pre and post workout meals. Aside from that, I think that's everything. Training is sorted, training is in. I am running lower. Is this one? No, it's not. Where is it? So Monday is lower. It is then push and arms 2 on a Tuesday. Today is pull and delts. We've got a rest day, push and arms 2, and then leg pull. The first lower session, or the only lower session, then pull and delts, I'm going to kind of auto-regulate because I've got some leg work on Saturday, and then it's just 2 sleeps, and then it's lower, which is a full lower session. And so I'm basically going to play around with having pull and delts on the Monday, 2 sleeps after leg pull, or the lower session, whichever one I feel like I recover from the best, that will be there. But in terms of like what I actually need to bring up, the main areas that I need to bring up is going to be my back, basically. Back, arms. So having more sleeps in between back is probably going to be a bit better. And then my actual like leg volume on that leg pull session isn't really too much. It's literally like a single leg ham curl, an RDL, 1 set of a hack squat, 1 set of an adductor. So it's not really much there. So it's probably going to be a bit more safer to manage recovery when it comes to my back, because that is going to be something which we do look to ramp up volume there. So yeah, new split is in. I will go through some bits, maybe. I'll record a couple of bits, but I'm not going to record like the whole session. But I'll run you through like what I did in the session a bit later on. Yeah, that's basically it. I've got a barbell row today, which is actually quite fun. Yeah, aside from that, that is the post-prep update. I am finally able to actually push up. I say finally, it's been 5.5 weeks. But yeah, we are all good. Molly, how many weeks out, you know?
Like 10.5.
10.5 weeks out from the first show. Do you want to say what that first show is or not? No, she doesn't. She's a bit quiet today. She's not feeling the best. Bit knackered.
Just tired.
Just tired. Creamy protocol's in. She's on about like 5 a day. 5 creamies a day.
Just 1. And this one is just dust.
Positives. It's also not 1, it's usually 2. It's usually 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening. following my optimal holiday protocol, which is deploy ice creams based on hunger. But yeah, that's the post-workout update. I will go and sort the pre-workout meal. You would have seen a little bit from work this morning. It is currently 10 a.m. I haven't eaten. It's been up for 5.5 hours. But all work is done, which is lovely. Obviously, we had Jared on stage on the weekend. We'll have a show day video filmed by Jack Rickard out in a couple of days, which will be cool. That'll be the next video that I post. Really, really good result. Probably the best top 3 in Classic Tour that I've seen at the first time we showed this year. The guy who came third was very, very good, and the fact that we got a second in that lineup, I'm really, really happy with. Could not have been better. He was absolutely skinned to the bone. Peak was great, and there's definitely things which I think we can do to peak better into following shows, which is amazing. And the guy who won, like, we had no chance. He was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, we've got about 2.5 weeks till the next show, which will be good. I don't know if I have a proper YouTube video, but I'll have maybe something like this, which will be sound as well. So yeah, positives all around, and we are now just trying to improve into the next show for him. But I'm not going to make that too much about that. Will be a whole video breaking down there from like bits from like 1 day's out, and then all of the show day, what we did, etc, etc. So yeah, look forward to that. Now I will go and sort out my pre-workout meal and show you through that as well. Okay, so meal 1 going down. We have got 40 grams of whey. It's the new like Perform maple swirl thingy, which is actually very good. It's sweet, but it's not too sweet. 130 grams cream of rice, trained by JP, sticky toffee pudding, banging. 20 grams of dark chocolate, 100 banana, 20 jam. And with all of my meals, actually, I actually have bumped up my fruit and veg. I think I mentioned this before. Not even from like an appetite or satiety perspective. I just genuinely enjoy it. And I feel like my digestion is 10 times better as a result of it. So that is basically what this is. Pretty big, decent first meal. 150 carb or so, which is sweet. My next food bump will be a 6th meal though, because my sleep schedule isn't going to change. I always get tired around the same sort of times, about say 10, 11 o'clock, and then I'm up from 4:30 onwards, and I'm not going to sleep in later because I also can't. But also if I go to bed any earlier, I can't sleep. So it's a lot easier to manage with 6 meals. It means that before this meal, I'll be able to eat a meal beforehand. Like I'll be able to eat a meal at 6, just where how long my day is now. And I also like training at this sort of time, about let's say 11ish, 11:30. I did kind of want it a bit earlier, but I had to wait for Molly to sort some stuff out to film for this. So technically, it's actually wanted to be a bit late, a bit earlier that I was training. But regardless, it's all good. So yeah, that'll be the sort of like the next food bump up. But food's are in a decent spot. I'm ordering like 675 grams of carbs. And as of today, we've also got 5 IUs of this bad boy going in, which is cool. 600 mcg of slew. Clem was pulled out last week, I think it was. And then I also put the slew in with my amino swirl, which is like obviously an injectable pump formula, which I pinned basically pre-workout. So yeah, loads of injections. It's great fun, guys. Bodybuilding is great fun. Basically become a borderline drug addict. But yeah. That's it. I'm going to get this down, and I'm going to watch big natural bodybuilder Ethan Kavanagh. Ethan, if you're watching this, mate. Oh, shit. Ethan, if you watch this, mate. Hello. There you go. I might record some bits in the gym. I probably will because I might post some bits on my story or my grid. So anything that I do record, I'll also show on here. I think that's everything. That's the update. I'll take you through the rest of the day with food, because everyone fucking loves food. Shock, it's basically the same foods that I normally have. I do want to put eggs back in though. I want just different foods again, instead of just fucking chicken, whey, oats, cream of rice, fucking the same shit, it works, but I do want to branch out and start having foods which I can normally have as well. That's me. Okay, so as I am prepping the post-workout meal, somewhere on screen will be the session, basically. Or most of it anyway. Well, most of it. No, it should be all of the session. I'm pretty sure I did film all of it. and I've just tipped out my cereal and the scales weren't on. Great. But no, first session of the new split, the off-season split, is in, pulling delts. I say pulling delts, pull with a lateral raise basically, or back with a lateral raise. Fair enough. Just about. There we go. Yeah, very sound. Lateral to start off. I did have a conversation with Tim on, I think it might be actually yesterday when I checked in, about like, because we were basically running like one on, one off, and this is like Frosties Cocoa Pops are a bit stale because they all just come together. Like my upper sessions were absolutely fine. My lower sessions were still fine. I was still like able to train and progress things and have good sets. However, it was getting to a point where like I was doing so many movements before like my compound work that it was just getting a bit tedious, and I was literally, I'm still like not absolutely like fucking 100%, right? Like, yes, I'm 5.5 weeks post show now, but I've pretty much been through the ringer with stuff, so I don't feel absolutely amazing. I feel good enough, but it's not perfect. So yeah, it was just getting a bit tedious, so I was like, can we just run like something where I can have maybe like some intensifiers on compounds that I don't mind doing, or like a couple of isolations, just so it's a little bit more like efficient for the time being. And then when I feel really, really good and like I'm itching to go and, you know, not send things because I still am, but like I don't mind things taking a bit longer, then go into like just more working sets, etc. Yeah, that's basically what I said. So yeah, the lateral raise is a double rest pause. That is the only intensifier on this session, I'm pretty sure. But it's a nice change because it's still really, really productive. I didn't actually get like full reps on the rest pause sets, which you don't always need to. Like the fact that you're still going through, yes, I may be cheating that first one, but the fact that you're still going through another eccentric and you're forcing the body to be under some level of stimulus is really, really good. So it's just another way of just extending that set, and giving the body some good quality stimulus. So if you can get some more reps out of your rest pause sets, it's really, really good. To get to those reps without having to go into another working set, if you know what I mean, and have to do another 7 or 8 or 9 reps just to get toward your more stimulating reps that actually matter. Basically, a good way of extending the set and being a bit more efficient with things. But then the rest of the session was just regular working sets. So we then have the nitro pull down, 2 working sets on there on each arm. Then I have a bent row, which I'm very, very happy is in. Starting off with 140, which I'm actually pretty happy with. It wasn't the cleanest set I've ever done on 140, I don't think, but it was not bad. It was sound. And actually something which I really do want to run up this off-season, provided I don't get injured towards my hip, which I'm nursing a little bit of hip discomfort. But provided that doesn't get any worse, I want to get this towards 180. I'm going to be really, really on it with certain, as I always am, but like for where I want to take my physique to now, I want to have a big push on certain movements, and I'm basically going to say to myself, I'm not allowed to prep until I tip them off. So 15 plate side back squat press, I want to get that for a set of 8, and then I want 180 kilo bent row for a set of 8 as well. Is that going to, and as soon as I do that, unlock new tissue towards my posterior? No, but we'll have a better back by the time I've done that. So that's what I've said to myself, and I'm going to stick to that. Rest of the session then, we've got the Cybex Eagle row, single arm, for a lat row bias there. Absolutely lovely. Mega Mass T-bar row, everyone's new favourite T-bar row, the best in the game. There'll be something new in a couple of weeks. It is good though, it is good. 2 sets on that. Upper back pull down, 2 working sets, and then a rear delt fly, 2 working sets. So a very sound and good session. But now I've just finished virtually the post-workout meal. So we've got 200 grams of Cocoa Pops in here. This will just be Frosties very, very shortly. I was just basically making my way through the bits of fucking cereal that's down there. 200 grams of fruit, mix of raspberries and blueberries, 50 grams of banana, and then 40 grams of whey. Which the best way to make whey for like cereal, if you're like in a rush or like you're traveling, maybe not with Cocoa Pops because there's a bit more volume to it, but like with Frosties, literally just put the whey on dry and then just put some water on it and then just mix it all in. With Cocoa Pops, I don't have enough whey, so I can't be asked. I'll literally just blend up 200 to 300 ml of water, some ice cubes, and then put my whey in there. And it goes a little bit thicker. It's very, very good. As you can tell, I don't really give a shit about food. Yeah, it's very nice. And that is the post-workout meal. Sound. I have got, to be fair, not actually that much work to do because I've been up for about 12 hours now. But I will be still having a couple of little bits to do throughout the evening. My prep routine has stayed bang on, which I'm very, very happy with, and I am going to do my absolute best to keep it there because it does help massively. So for anyone who is remotely interested, my morning routine starts at 4:30. Wake up, sort myself out, have a shower, brush my teeth, whatnot. To be fair, I actually didn't have time to have a shower this morning, so I just put a hat on to start work. Then we'll do my prep check-ins from about 5 till around 6:15. Then when clients send me training clips, what I do now, because I found it's a lot more efficient for not only me, but also them, I don't get back to them on the same day. Unless it's something like, hey mate, does this look okay? I'm in the gym right now. Can you have a quick look over? I'll be like, yeah, that's fine. But if it's a case where someone sent me like their full session, which usually is what happens, I will then save those training clips and then I will get back to them in the morning. The reason I do that is because then at that time in the morning when I've got all my contest prep check-ins done and I'm just waiting for all of my off-season or lifestyle check-ins to come through, I've then got a period of 90 minutes, 2 hours or so, where no one else is messaging me. All of my attention can just be towards that, and that is just full time, which is just dedicated to getting back to those and providing as much detailed explanation about how to execute the movements, what we sort of want to be doing there, and it works a lot better for everyone, which is good, and that's why I do not want to allow my sleep to go to the point where I'm waking up at like even 6. So I just wouldn't have enough time. It also means then that by the time that everything is done in the morning, all my check-ins usually get done by around, say, 9:30, 10 a.m. Everyone's now sorted for the day. I can head to the gym nice and early, miss the traffic, get back home, and then in the afternoon and evening, can watch some of the World Cup, which is cool. Also means then that if anyone who is interested in coaching, I can then jump on a call with them in the afternoon or evening and then go through setups as well. So it just means that I've got a lot more time. I just don't have 8 hours of sleep per night. I don't really have that anyway. I never really have. I don't really need it. I feel like I'm absolutely sound on like 5.5, 6. I'm probably going to go delirious. Probably not. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. That's that. But yeah, that's it. That's the post-workout meal. I will show you meal 3. Meal 3 and meal 4 are the same, bar one fat source. One's with olive oil, one's with almond butter or peanut butter. So I'll show you that because in between I'm going to have to head to Molly's work to drop her something. Then I'm going to try and head back and watch the football because England are playing, and fucking hopefully Congo can do a madness and knock them out. That would be lovely. But I do want to watch some of the football tonight, which would be good. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so just as I'm prepping my third meal, what I kind of want to chat about is something which I'm going to try and make it as not... It's not going to be obvious what I'm talking about. There's not even a specific person. But something which I'm just seeing a lot more as maybe I become a better bodybuilder, become a better coach, is just things not really making sense with some sort of practices within like coaching. It's not even just competitive bodybuilding like peak weeks and shit like that. Like that's a whole different conversation to be had. But something which I am seeing a whole lot is just things which I don't agree with, to be honest. Especially with with lifestyle clients more than competitive bodybuilding, because competitive bodybuilding, in my opinion, like the main thing you need to go and do is go and get a result, go and get someone on stage, get them in shape, right?
And there is then a discussion to have with that client in terms of, obviously, if they're assisted, what they want to use, what the coach is happy to use. But ultimately, your job as a coach is to get the result. And I get that. However, it also comes down to a point of like, is that just putting someone's health at risk for no fucking reason? Is that just making someone's life shit? Just for, yes, they get a result and they'll be happy with it, but at the same time, like, they're not going to enjoy the process of getting that result. And all they're going to associate with getting in shape for whatever it is, whether it's a competition, whether it's a holiday, for example, right, is that they had to feel like shit, that they had to do all of these different things. And it's the same, it's even worse, it's even worse with coaching practices where I see them not disclosing that a certain supplement that they're giving to a client is not considered a natural supplement, whether that be clenbuterol, whether that be thyroid. Obviously with peptides becoming even more common now. Peptides, like, it's ridiculous. And the amount of things that I've heard from people, not only people who have come to me, as in clients, but like just things I've seen through social media is absolutely ridiculous. If your coach is getting you to take a fat loss supplement, do some research, make sure that it is a natural thing if you are natural, and don't do anything you're not comfortable with. At the same time, like, if you are just starting a diet, right, what do you need to do at the start of that diet? You need to get body weight moving. If you are starting from a position where you have worked up your baseline diet pretty high, you have got loads of tools available to get a load of body fat off really quickly. You do not need to go and do a load of things. With anyone that I diet, the first thing we look to do is just literally, we want to make some good changes straight off the jump. Of course we do. But that can be done through increasing some expenditure, so increasing some steps, increasing some cardio, and especially if they work their food up pretty high, a decent drop to food. Because if someone is peak off season, peak gain phase at 4,500, 5,000 calories, you can go and pull them down to 3,500 calories. And yes, you're not going to see, no one's going to get, realistically, not many people are going to get skinned from 3,500 calories, but you're going to get a pretty good response through just working down some food, working up expenditure, getting someone into a really good routine with doing their cardio and whatnot. Getting that consistent, because then when you do go into a point where you do need to work those things up, those foundations are still there. And I think that's really, really important to know, to do, and so on and so forth. The issue that I see is that I'm hearing loads of things about, oh yes, we put clan in from day one. Why? Like, you really don't fucking need to. I can't stress that enough. You really don't need to. But then what it also means is that everything becomes so much more challenging towards the end of that phase, because you've got minimal tools left available, because you can throw them all in from week one, and people are ending their diets on 1,000 calories. Don't get me wrong, I ain't the coach who's going to be like, you don't need to diet on 1,000 calories. If you need to, you fucking need to, and you suck it up and you crack on. Especially if you've got a show, you get on with it. But at the same time, I then question how training performance is going to be. Training performance is the most important thing within a fat loss phase, in my opinion, to prioritise that. And I think it's just really, really stupid. I'm hearing so many things about people being like, yeah, day one we've got cleaning, we've got this, we've got that, we get a huge response straight off the jump. Yeah, of course you do, but what fucking happens towards the end of that phase? You've got nothing left. So the bold guy, I've got nothing left. It's fucking mental. And yeah, like the amount of things I'm hearing about, not only like people just throwing thyroid in to be like, yeah, this will just help with fat loss. Of course it's going to fucking help with fat loss, with body weight loss, because you are fucking boosting up your metabolism to a point where it's just stupid. If you are using thyroid, please, 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 please get your blood work done. If you are noticing some side effects, or not even some side effects, but some symptoms of potential some down-regulation within your thyroid, get your blood work done. Make sure that your thyroid is actually down-regulated before you go and use anything. And then when you do need to use something, have a look upon blood work and make sure it's a case where you are using what you actually need to use. 9 times out of 10, that is going to be dual or single monotherapy dosages of T3 or T4 or both. If it's a case where you are needing to just use T4, sound, just use T4. If you're needing to use both, use both. But at the same time, you don't need to go and bring your metabolism, bring your thyroid function up to a point where it's now super physiological, because that's not going to be tissue selective. That's not going to be something which is going to prioritize muscle tissue and only burn body fat. No, it's going to burn through whatever the fuck it can. Granted, at the end, there's peptides and whatnot, and there's obviously anabolics, which are going to be muscle retentive and help with training performance, and there's going to be clenbuterol, which is going to be, let's say, a little bit more tissue selective. Of course it is. But at the same time, understand what you're doing. And I do think if you can, have a good understanding about the things which you are planning to take within your competition prep or whatnot, because it's really, really important. It's really important to understand what you are doing and make sure that when you understand these things, you can then make a judgment on terms of, am I okay with doing these things, with taking these things? Because it is absolutely mental. That's my fucking rant. Done. Meal free. Meal free is 130 grams of jasmine rice, it is 150 grams of chicken, and it is 100 grams of green beans and 100 grams of broccoli and 5 mils of olive oil. The only difference between this meal and meal 4 is I'll probably put peppers in there instead of broccoli, and I will put 10 grams of peanut butter in there instead of the olive oil. That is it. I am going to sit down. It's coming up to 5 p.m. I'm going to watch the football. I'm going to go support Congo. For the next 90 minutes, I am Congolese. If I look a bit pale and a bit more knackered than I normally do, I wasn't going to film, I think I said I wasn't going to film meal 4 because it is exactly the same, just with maybe different veg and fucking nut butter instead of olive oil. But I was like, no, I will film it. I then put the England game on and just fucking passed out on the sofa, to be honest. And you know when it's hot, like in the summer, right? And you have a nap, and like realistically, if you have a nap during the day, when else would you have a fucking nap? Jesus Christ. You have a nap, right? You never wake up feeling great, but in the moment you're like, I need a fucking nap, right? So I was like, just lay on the sofa. I was full asleep. I had the football on, and I could hear everything. Like I wasn't fully asleep. I heard that Congo scored, and I was like, sick. Like in my sleep, just like, yeah, sick, cool. And then I woke up about just after half time, and I was like, shit, I've still got 5k steps to do. When I did my steps and came back, then forgot that I hadn't got what I needed to get from the shop for my next meal, and also some squash. So I'd go back out, which to be fair, doing so actually did finish my steps all in that one go. But yeah, that meant that I kind of had to push my food back a bit, and I was like, I have got no time whatsoever. So yeah, the last meal literally went in probably like an hour and a half ago, which is great. It's great also just living like what genuinely feels like 20-hour days. To be fair, I actually don't mind it. I say my sleep's fine. It is fine, but it does cause sometimes for me to fall asleep after I've trained and feel horrendous. Like I woke up or got up or whatever the fuck happened. So I still don't believe I was fully asleep. But then it was also very hot. I was just profusely sweating. Like I was just soaked. It was absolutely disgusting. Yeah, there's that. And here's me trying to get the last few bits of whey out of the mug. What I found is it's so much easier to get the last few bits of whey out with one of Molly's baby spoons. That's very good. Full Ball Sports Code Jenkins. French toast maple swirl. Very nice. This is meal 5. I say I need to go to fucking 6 meals. I probably really see with these 5 meals I should just be getting one in before I train. I just I like being in what I believe is my closest version towards flow state, which is in the morning I don't leave my desk. When I get my WhatsApp cleared initially, I then have a shower. I then go back to my desk. I leave my desk before my last check-in to make my pre-workout meal. Then, or sometimes eat. If I've got time, I'll make it way beforehand. Then I'll eat it before my last check-in. Then I'll head to the gym. Of course, if I'm resting, then I'll just get all work done and eat afterwards. Rest days I'm going to keep at 5 meals. I don't need to go to 6. I mean, I probably could do. Who knows? But yeah, that way is pretty good. And meal number 5, 130 gram of oats. Lovely. Blueberries, 50 gram banana, 60 grams of whey, which was that. The rest of it's in there with one of Molly's baby spoons. I definitely didn't use one of them at all in prep. I will say, I did obviously. Who the fuck actually uses big spoons? Like, I'm sorry, if you eat with one of these, I find that weird. I don't know why. Got to eat with one of them. It's a bit bigger than the thing. Don't know why. Just is better. No logic. Just vibes. It is better. That's the full day of eating. Kind of, so I didn't show every single meal. Yeah. Welcome back to the YouTube. I feel like I'm a lot more autistic. So I'm a lot more myself. I'm also fucking soaking wet in sweat. This is genuinely disgusting. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Now that I'm not borderline dead post-prep, hopefully these videos will be a lot more frequent. And I can record some other sort of bits and training and shit. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get like the actual like tripod for the DJI. And I can then film my actual session and I'll be mic'd up and it will literally, the video will just be me training and nothing else. Because these full day vegans are so easy to make. And I know people watch them more. And people care more. But I don't. And I'm not someone who's like, oh my God, I need to watch a full day vegan. So I need to stop doing that. But thank you very much for watching. As usual, links will be down below. Full Ball, Jenkins, Trinity, Josh 10. I haven't worn anything from Trinity, so sorry Josh for not wearing it. But yeah. And coaching will be down below as well. For anyone who is wanting to join the team, I will say anyone who is thinking of a coach and is looking to compete this year, I would say this to anyone, but get a coach sooner rather than later. I do not take on clients for competition prep if they are further than 6 weeks out. After literally just how I've seen clients who I have had below that time frame, it just is way too much work to be done in a short period of time. So if you are looking to get on stage this year, basically you need to fucking sign up now. And to be fair, if you want to compete next year, I'd be thinking to start working with a coach very soon as well. But yeah, either way, links are down below as well. Obviously, lifestyle coaching, completely available all the time. And yeah, I will leave it there. Thank you for watching. I will try and get another video up next week. But at the same time, the next video will most likely be the show day from the weekend, which is a very, very good video. So yeah, see you then.